So how often do you play some great golf, hit some great shots and then sign for a scorecard that is very much not a reflection of your performance? Are you tired of throwing away good rounds of golf, ruining your scorecard with the odd bad hole? So if this sounds familiar and you're looking to consistently break 90, lower your golf scores, then today's video is definitely for you. So I've played with plenty of golfers over the years who, well, they hit the ball fantastically well, hit it for miles in fact, but then they don't score particularly well at the end of the round. And for me, there are 5 reasons why that happens. And what I'm going to show you in today's video is 5 simple solutions to those problems, which will make a massive impact on your scoring without you having to change any elements of your actual golf swing. Right, let's kick things off with problem number 1 from what is the 5th hole. I'm middle of the fairway on a par 4. And I've just got 150 yards into the green. We've got a little bit of an issue that I want to discuss and where you've got a major problem in breaking 90. And that's our inability to assess or evaluate risk versus reward. Now, as you can see from this bit of drone footage from where I'm situated, the green is on a very much severe dogleg from left to right. And if I want to hit the green from 150 yards out, it means I've got to go directly over this tree line. There's a couple of issues there, or potential risks. One, that I hit the trees because I don't get the ball quite how I wanted to, don't get it up in the air. And as you can see, there's some out of bounds sticks, I'm out of bounds. Other option is I get it up in the air, but I don't quite carry the right distance. Maybe I fade it as well. And once again, I'm out of bounds. So it's a high risk shot with a penalty attached. Do I want to take that if I'm trying to break 90? Well, I would suggest no. You don't want to waste a good drive like this from the middle of the fairway. So what I'm going to suggest we look at doing is evaluate it a little bit differently. And if I play something like an 8-iron, 9-iron, straight down in front of me where I'm looking now, you'll see we avoid any chance of going out of bounds. We avoid a pond that is situated on the corner of this dogleg as well, and it should leave me just a 50, a 60-yard chip into the hole, and I've eliminated all the risks. So evaluate the situation and make sure you understand the risk versus the reward. And once you start making those decisions a little bit more towards the kind of eliminating risk, I'm pretty sure you'll start to drop your scores and consistently start breaking 90. Problem number 2, and a massive issue in a number of different ways for any golfer, and that's ego. But ego really plays a part in what I'm about to tell you now, because you're not prepared to do what it actually takes to break 90 on a regular occurrence. Because 18 over par is effectively 1 over par for every hole on the golf course. So this par 3 we're about to play now is, I'm going to play it as a par 4, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because it's extremely dangerous and it's a card wrecker. But for most of us, and when I first started playing golf 35 years ago, when I come to this hole, I'd pick out the club from the bag that gets me 180 yards with my Sunday best. The problem was, I'd slice it out to the right and have to play 3 off the tee. I'd pull it left and go into the pond. And every now and again, yes, I might hit the green, but it's that percentage chance of doing so which is a real issue. So today, I'm going to play it as a par 4, and let's see if we can make this a whole lot simpler. So the first thing for me to do is evaluate where my sort of safe zone is, and that is 30, 40 yards short of the green is the widest part of the fairway. It means we don't bring the pond into play, and I'm going to steer to the left-hand side of what is the fairway, even though I'm playing a par 3. So that's my safe landing space. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to play a 4 hybrid down towards the pond, knowing full well that I can't reach it with what is going to be a 3/4 swing. Let's see if we can do that first of all. Right, that's pretty much perfect. So I've got myself in the middle of the fairway. We're in a safe zone, and what it should leave me now is a nice, very straightforward chip into the green. And I've took all the risk out of the equation by playing that first shot, dropping my ego and not trying to get this ball on the green and potentially wreck my card. Give me a chance in some way. Well, that was probably a bit better than expected. And we've got what might be 8-10 foot for a potential par. But don't forget, we're playing this as a 4. So in my eyes, I'm putting for birdie right now. I actually chose to play an 8-iron, and I'll explain in another problem later on in this video about how that club selection also plays a major part in you reducing your score. So now, like I said, we've got to putt for a 3. And if we're still, then we walk off with that 4 and we're still going to break 90. Do you know, the irony is I bogey that hole virtually every week, and I've just parred it using my own methods. Why don't I listen to my own methodology? Problem number 3 is very simple and straightforward to eradicate from your game, and it's the choice of shot type that you elect to play. Now, it's really important because you get this bit wrong, again, it can be hugely costly. This position I'm in here now is, well, we've probably got about 30 yards to the flag. I've got nothing in front of me, and there are a few options to play. The wrong option is the one that you'll see me play last, and that is a wedge with some loft and throw it up in the air. It did okay. I executed the shot okay, and as you can see, a bit of a cheater. You can see it's the furthest from the flag, and that's because the other 2 options were far safer. The first one being was the putter. Yes, often it's joked and frowned upon, the Texas wedge, and for some reason people are embarrassed to play it from this kind of situation. But it is the club with the highest percentage of success from this position. And when I say success, it's the highest percentage of club that can't have failure, in my opinion. Let's rephrase it. Because with the putter, I'm not going to mess the shot up, I'm not going to blade it, I'm not going to thin it, and I am going to get it somewhere down there near the target. This did really well, but if it goes a little bit further, a little bit shorter, I'm still safe and I'm still in a scoring zone and a possibility to make that par. The last club I played was in fact an 8-iron. It was a little chip and run shot, and it was exactly the same concept. Get the ball on the ground and get it moving. That first choice of shot, and so many will come to here, they're 30 yards away and they're playing a lofted wedge. It's incredibly difficult to execute. It's got a huge percentage room for error, and a lot can go wrong. So choose the club and the shot type that you're trying to play wisely, and it will massively impact your scores. And as Lewis Johnson once said to me, you don't chip over nothing. So literally get it on the ground, get it running towards the hole as soon as you can. And in this instance, don't be afraid of using that putter. That's the right club. It's not far away. Oh my God. So we are back where it all started, and would you believe that was nearly a hole-in-one on camera? That would have been nice. But it's the club choice that I'm really interested in, and why this reason number 4 that you're having problems to break 90 is because of the wrong choice based on optimum performance. Now, what I mean by that is this. I got 135 to that flag, and if I look at my yardage, then ordinarily that's a 9-iron. I can pretty much say if I strike my 9-iron between 90 and 100% of my performance, I will hit it about 135. But there's a big issue with this hole, and that is if I hit anything short, then effectively my ball is buried in the quarry and I've got a real problem in making anywhere near a par. So I chose an 8-iron, and what that 8-iron does, it provides me with what I call a little bit of wriggle room. So if I don't quite get this right, the likelihood is I'll still make the front of the green. If I nail it, then yes, I might go a little bit long, but long is safe. And if, as I did with this one in particular, I get it somewhere in between all those, I nearly hold it. But the idea is to evaluate the situation that you're looking at once again, and choose a club that is not based on optimum performance, but based on something within an average that gives you a little bit of room to make an error, not quite get it out of the centre of the club face, but not have a major impact on your performance and ultimately your score in a negative way. So choose your club not based on optimum, but based on average performance. Right, if I can interrupt just for 2 seconds and make a couple of appeals. One is that you consider signing up for our newsletter, which can be found on the website. It's theaveragegolfer.co.uk. Keep very much up to date with all things average golfer, all things golf. And yeah, that would be very much appreciated. Second thing is, I don't normally mention this, but Instagram. We're trying to grow our following on Instagram, and that is averagegolfer99, but also trying to give Holywell a bit more exposure as well. So if you can go and follow Holywell Golf Club as well at the same time, I know I'm getting greedy, a lot of requests, but both me and the golf club would be hugely appreciative. So it's a bit of a worker, but there's a reason why that shot was never gonna let me down. And that's because I've got every confidence in the club that I've chose to play off this tee. And that's problem number 5 that you need to resolve. So choose a club that you have the most confidence in the results that you're going to achieve. So what I mean by that is, on this hole, ideally it needs driver. I've played a mini driver because it's a lot more confidence inspiring for me personally, but you might choose to play a hybrid, you might choose to play a lofted fairway wood. But wherever you are and whatever predicament you've got from the tee, make sure you're choosing something that you've got the utmost confidence in and has got the most percentage of success. Because all I ever see is people go into a par 4, par 5, the minute it gets over 300 yards, and all we'll do is automatically reach for the driver. And the problem is, not everybody has got ultimate confidence in their driver performance, and it's the club attached with the most risk. So if you really want to seriously break 90 consistently, then make sure you choose a club that has got the greatest percentage in terms of success. And all of a sudden, you'll start to see your scores start to tumble. Sermon is over, and I hope you take notice of those 5 reasons why you can't break 90. And to be honest with you, it's a lesson that I need to practice what I preach, certainly, because it all worked out pretty good. Course management is club selection, all those kind of things, hugely important. Forget your swing, you've got to get all those things right as well to make sure you give yourself the best chance of lowering your score, breaking 90, and then moving on to the next step. Right, thanks for watching. As ever, give me your feedback, let me know what you thought, put it into practice, and I'll see you all soon.